Hey everyone, welcome back to the Faith Geode Tumbler tutorial part 2. This is Trevor Childs.
And this is Freddie Childs.
And we are actually going to start off by showing you a couple of things that you're going to need for the process. You're going to need several mixing cups, and in 2 of the cups you're going to go ahead and place some micas. In the first you're just going to need a little bit of a magical gold mica, and the second a pearl or a white mica. As you can see there. You will also need some white casting craft, as I'm going to show you here. This is just going to give us some opaque pigment, and then we're going to move right into mixing our epoxy. Here we are actually mixing 30 milliliters of part A and 30 milliliters of part B of our KS resin liquid stone. Don't forget, if you decide to order the KS resin on their website, to use the coupon code CLEAREPOXY for a good discount, and they always have free shipping, which is really great.
Okay, after you have mixed your epoxy for at least 5 minutes, you're going to grab your medicine cups and you're going to pour some of that epoxy in each one with the micas. You're going to pour 10 milliliters into the white mica epoxy, and then you're going to pour 7.5 into the magical gold epoxy. These measurements are more than enough to complete 1 cup.
After you pour your epoxy into the 2 different colors of the micas, you're going to need 2 additional popsicle sticks to stir that up, as you will see here.
Alright, the next step is we're going to grab our bottle of white casting craft.
All you're going to need to do for this step is add 1 little drop into your white epoxy mixture with the micas, and it's going to give you a little bit more of an opaque finish on the cup. A little bit goes a long way. It's a really great product, and you can get it at any local craft store. After we've gotten our micas and our pigment mixed with our epoxies, you're going to see that we've got about 10 of the white and 7.5 of the gold. You're going to also notice that you have a lot more of the clear epoxy for the cup than you do the micas. This is completely normal in the way that it is supposed to be. Don't be alarmed when you see how much more clear you have.
Our next step is going to be applying our epoxy. The first epoxy that we're going to be using is our clear epoxy. You want to make sure that you are applying your epoxy evenly, starting from the top of the cup to the bottom of the cup. As you are working with your clear epoxy, you want to make sure that you get into the areas where the chunky glitter and the glass glitter is applied to. Make sure those are all covered in epoxy and no surface is left open.
After you've gotten all of your clear epoxy onto the cup, and you've made sure that all your edges and chunky and glass glitters have been covered with your clear epoxy, it is time to move into the process of adding your mica epoxy. All you do is add your micas on your selected areas, primarily over the white areas of the cup, but don't be afraid to go into the gold areas. When you overlap the white micas into the gold areas, it will actually create a more beautiful effect. You just continue to do this until you have it looking the way that you want it to look. There's no right or wrong way to do this method. Also, don't be afraid if some of your glitter moves around on the cup as you move through this process. Just move it back with your finger. It won't hurt the cup at all. this cup is truly a one-of-a-kind piece, and every single one will look different from the last. So have fun with it and enjoy it as you move forward. Also, don't be afraid as you're doing this to reverse your motor to make the epoxies go in different directions as you do the process. After you start to get your epoxy with the white micas exactly where you want it on the cup, even overlapping some of the gold parts of the cup as you can see in the video, this actually gives it that translucent effect, which makes it beautiful. Then you can move into the stage with adding the magical golds. As you can see here, I just use the popsicle stick and I start drizzling it on the cup. I usually try to start and outline the areas of the gold that I have on the cup, as you can see. And then towards the end, I kind of just drizzle it over the cup in a random pattern. The true beauty of the cup begins when you start to swirl the magical gold into the other micas. Be sure not to overmix it because then you're going to have one color. The goal is to have streaks of it throughout the cup. It will truly be stunningly beautiful once you are done. As you can tell by the last clip, it doesn't take very long to get your micas mixed because you don't want to overmix them. You can see the gold spray paint sticking out underneath the epoxy and micas, your glass glitter, and your regular chunky mix. It's really starting to look like the original Faith Cup Tumbler, and it is beautiful.
After adding your decal, we will move on to the next step of adding our final coat.
The decal that we use is actually found on Etsy. We will make sure to put a link to that in the description box below. We also use a gold adhesive foil with a brushed finish, which is actually made by several different brands. And before you decide to add your clear coat, your last layer, please be sure to make sure you're getting any imperfections off the cup, as you can see me doing here, getting some spare glitter off of the cup, and then you're going to go right into adding that last layer of epoxy. The only areas that I really baby the cup on are the rim, the top and the bottom rim. The rest of the cup, as you can see when I speed it up, I don't really baby it at all. I find babying the epoxy actually makes things worse for us personally, but as you'll see, it goes on really quick. As you're adding your final layer of clear epoxy, you just want to make sure that those edges are clear. You can always torch out any micro bubbles if you have any in your epoxy, and as you'll see when the video slows down, I'm going to double check, make sure that my rim is nice and clean. And other than that, you have really virtually recreated the Childs & Childs Faith Cup. You could possibly need another layer of epoxy depending on the roughness of your glitter, but other than that, you have done it. Your Faith Cup is done.
And also please remember that you can do this with any color of glitter. It doesn't have to be your gold, and it doesn't have to be your white micas. So have fun and get creative.
We hope that this tutorial was helpful for you all, and we so thank you for watching. Be sure to follow us on Facebook at Childs and Childs, and join our Facebook private group, Childs and Childs Tumblers, Tutorials, and Masterminds. Thank you all again for watching.
Don't forget to like this video, and thank you guys for everything. Bye!
Yes, like, follow, and subscribe. Bye-bye.